So welcome back guys to another video. Today we're gonna talk about the 10 misconceptions about sourcing from China. So for you guys that don't know who we are, my name is Magnus.
And I am Lewis.
And we are the China Gatekeeper. We help you find, source, create your product from China. And today we're going to go through the 10 misconceptions about sourcing from China, because the general idea of products in China is like Chinese cheap shit.
Right.
And we're totally aware of that. And to be honest, a lot of products here are shit.
Right.
But as you always tell us, or have told me, is that the misconception that bad products that come from China, it's not really Chinese that produce those stuff.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, so we talk a lot about this. It's about irresponsible buyers. And it really comes down to that. You have the options and you have the choices to pick what you want, quality, everything. And that's why we're here to clear up what people have made this made in China concept, all these misconceptions. Right now we're going to go through the list, and hopefully it helps make it more clear to you that you are more in control than you think.
Yeah, exactly. And what we have to also say in this video is like it's the same like any type of a country that start to produce. Like in the beginning, all the countries start to produce like cheap kind of shitty products. Right. Japan was like that in the 70s. Like when my parents grew up, they always said like Japanese shit, it's super bad quality. And look at the Japanese products now. Right. They're all over the world. They're considered like high quality products. And China is up there as well. But since buyers had bought and want to push the margins very high, that's why people think that Chinese products are bad. But we're going to go through the misconceptions today. So the first thing is that when you're sourcing from China, a lot of people think that you have to buy at least one container.
Yes, so this is one of the biggest misconceptions, that you have to buy one full container of any product that you want to buy. And that's because we've got this wholesale mentality, right? And people think you're going to China, you must have to buy incredible quantities. And we're here to tell you that that's false. It's false because we have access to the EU market, our biggest example, which are wholesalers that are willing to work with you. They're willing to sell you 1 box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes, and you build your container, but not from one product. You build it through multiple products. And for almost anybody, that is the best situation, because your risk is lower, because your investment is spread out, and you're not getting stocked up on one item that if it doesn't go well for you, now what do you do?
Yeah, so that's totally wrong. I mean, you can start off smaller. Of course, you cannot buy like 3 usually,
sure.
Unless it's big products.
Wholesale is relative.
Yeah. So if you're just an entrepreneur that's starting off, you can start in smaller quantities and then you can grow up. And make bigger type of purchases. But have that in mind, you can start small. The second misconception that we have is that when you buy products in China, the quality has to be super duper low.
Right, and that's what we were alluding to in the beginning of this video, and it is 100% false. You have the power, you have the option to make the quality that you desire. It's up to you. Obviously, there's a quality-price relationship, and I think that that's implied. It goes that way in life. You get what you pay for. So if you are trying to sell a high-quality item, you will produce a high quality item. If you're trying to get a product that's for selling at a low cost, it doesn't need to be super high quality, we can also do that for you. But it's in your hands, it's in your control, and we will always produce for you what you need and what you desire. You will not tell us I want high quality and we will search for you low quality. That's not how it works.
Exactly. And what I wanted to add to that also, like, people think still, why should we take these guys' words for it? Why should they trust us to say, oh yeah, buy quality products from China? Well, if we're telling you about the brands that actually produce their stuff here, you will be blown away. Most people know that Apple produced their iPhone here, and a lot of their MacBook products are produced here, but also products like Daniel Wellington, like watches, produces here. Also, high-end brands like
Right.
Burberry has most of their production here.
Yeah.
All the Gucci sunglasses are produced here. Prada produce a lot of their bags here.
Yeah.
Are there more products that are produced here?
Of course, Armani does stuff here. You already mentioned Gucci, Prada.
Nike do a lot of their stuff here.
Yeah.
Adidas do all their stuff here.
What most companies do now, and I think the viewers must know this as well, is that most of the people are doing intellectual property abroad and production here. It makes sense. China still is the powerhouse when it comes to production, and you don't have to run away from it. I think it's something that if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, you should embrace it. You should know that your ideas are valuable and you can produce them here at a lower cost, and you will still get the product that you want. There's a reason why big brands are trusting China.
Yeah.
It's a logical choice and the right way to go.
Yeah, and since China has decades and decades of experience in producing, they have all the components. I mean, if you come to a country that has not produced before, yeah, they maybe can produce one type of goods,
Right.
but when they're putting different components together, that's where
more
China
difficult.
has a unique selling point, because they have all the factories here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The other misconception that people usually also have about China is that it's unsafe to produce here. What do you think about that?
I think that it depends on how you decide to do business. So that's why offices like ours, or companies or businesses like China Gatekeeper become so important. Because some people think that if you kind of cut corners and just, I found a website on the internet, I'm just gonna risk it. That is a big risk. It's a big risk for the client, because how are you going to send thousands of dollars to somebody that you never met face to face, that has no presence in your country or even in your continent, that you have no way to do quality control? So when you're faced with these things, yes, it can be risky. But if you work through an office of people that speak your language, that are from the Western world, that have not only a company set up in China, but also companies set up abroad, that you know that if you have a problem, you know who to go knock on, whose door you're knocking on, what phone number you're calling.
Yeah.
When you put these things on the table, you realize that it is safe to do business in China. You just have to do it the right way.
Yeah, to find the right partner. Another thing that also we have a misconceptions regarding sourcing in products in China is that Alibaba is the best place to source your product.
And again, 100% wrong. Alibaba is a fraction of the factories in China. You will usually get higher costs because they are the select few that somehow have an English element to them. But most of the people that are buying from China, they're buying from factories that don't speak a word of English, factories that are hidden because these people don't have they're not branding themselves. They're hidden in the middle of China somewhere.
Yeah.
And people have to come and find them. That's why we're here. That's why we've made the leap to come to China and go hunt these factories down. Find the way to produce for you quality and also price. So no, Alibaba is not the best way. Alibaba is an option when you don't have a partner. But we're here to let you know that we are here to be your partner.
Yeah, and as you guys probably know, it's like you cannot Google search your way into finding I don't know, factory in southern part of China. You won't find them, and these type of factories are really bad at communicating, basically.
Absolutely.
So what they're good at producing stuff. You have to find them either by traveling here, and we're very welcome to. You are very welcome to come here, and we can show you around, but you have to have people on the spot, in order to do that.
Absolutely.
Another misconception is that there's no way to do quality control when you're buying from China.
And that comes down again to the partner that you have. If you buy from the internet, how do you know that when your production is ready, everything is as you wish it was? And the answer is somebody has to be in China to do your quality control for you. Ultimately, it becomes one of the most important parts of the whole buying process, because that's the moment where you can say my product is correct or my product has a defect. And it has to be caught before it's sent, because you lose time, you lose money, and it causes great headaches because it's not easy to do that post-purchase claim.
Yeah.
So Quality control is done by us. It's one of our specialties. It's one of the things, one of our unique selling points, you can say, that we will make sure we check your products. We will make a report for you and we will send it out to you so that you feel like everything is okay. It's in our hands.
Yeah, exactly. Another misconception a lot of people have is that when you have problems with the Chinese suppliers, it's a lost game. You cannot return goods, you cannot change it, etc.
Right. That's where the relationship that we have with the suppliers comes in. So these people value their relationship with us. Why? Because we buy from them constantly. We look for good suppliers so that the quality is right, so that the trust is there. These people are not gonna just tell us, no, I'm so sorry. If we have something that's wrong with our goods, we're gonna be able to talk to them, to give you some sort of compensation, produce it again. There's always options, but that's our relationship with suppliers, and that's how we kind of keep things safe for the client.
Yeah, exactly. Another misconception, and I also had this when I lived back home in Sweden, is that it's super difficult to ship products from China to whatever country you're buying from.
Right. So we're like, right now we're living in this age of like incredible logistics, right? Everything has been streamlined. There is multiple ways, whether you're doing container, air shipping, all these options are open to your client. So basically we will help you. We have multiple partnerships with shipping companies, with air freight carriers. So we will always explore all options. If you have time, obviously your lowest cost will always be ship.
Yeah.
We'll send it by ship. It doesn't have to be a full container, another misconception.
Yeah.
You can send partial. You can send 1 cubic meter to... These companies are used to everything, and it's changed a lot. It used to be also a full container is what you had to send.
Yeah.
Now if they have a destination, and they will partial it out.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and send partial goods. So
exactly, exactly. And we can of course help you with that. You have a lot of contacts here that like whatever product you're trying to create, we can bring it back to your home country. Another misconception that a lot of people have is that if you're gonna buy from China big quantities, you have to personally travel to the factory and see the goods and buy it there.
And that is not true, because that's what we're here for. We're here to go to the factories for you. We're here to make sure that we have physical samples made so that we can actually know what we're buying and be super clear on this before we ever ship it up to you.
Yeah. Last misconception that most people have is that if I use a sourcing agent, I lose money and my margins are eaten up by this agent. What do you think about that?
I think that if you have a trusted agent, you are not losing money, you are saving money. You are saving money because the lost time, the lost money and defective goods, all of that risk that you assume by simply not deciding to partner up with somebody who is strategically where you're doing business, that cost is something that can ruin a young entrepreneur or a small business.
Yeah.
Versus when you have these strategic people like us, we help save you money because we're there to do all the things for you that are gonna ultimately help your business grow.
Yeah. And lastly, I wanted to say with this is, when you're sourcing product, it's not just like click a button and that's it. There's
Absolutely.
people behind this. When you're creating your product from scratch, there is a lot of variables that can go wrong. I don't want to scare you guys, but there is a lot of variables that can go wrong.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. And from your idea to you actually have the product, there's a lot of things that when you're doing it for the first time, you don't consider.
Right.
And that's why it's really good to work with a partner locally here in China, so you know that, okay, we will help you throughout the way.
Absolutely.
And that's why you should choose China Gatekeeper for sourcing or creating your brand product. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Do you want to add something, Leslie?
No, go ahead and go please to the survey that we have attached here so that we can help you begin the process.
Yeah, and let's make your product dream reality. See you in the next video. Let's wait 1 more minute until he's gone. Oh, the focus is on me, I can see it. Can they follow me? Oh, now it's on you. Can you please move? Oh, no, he's gone.
He's gone.
He is gone. So welcome back.